Right, loud and clear.
Just start.
Mhm.
And I'll just cut this part out like the start.
It's fine.
All right. Today's date is April 14th, 2026. My name is Magen Coleman. I'm an eighth grade student at bicultural. I'll be interviewing my grandmother, whose name is Smadar, about her life and legacy. All right. Let's start by saying your full name for, yeah.
My full name is Madar Lerner Pardes. I'm going by my middle name as well, which is Lerner, officially.
Yeah. All right. Do you know who you're named after? If
Actually, I am not, the name Smadar, I'm not named after anybody specific. No, nobody from the family. No. The name Smadar was in some kind of a work that was written, I believe by Zev Jabotinsky, but I'm not 100% sure. But I'm not named after somebody from a family. No.
all right. So in the class that we've been doing for this, like for the we've been learning about the immigration of Jews to like the US and other places. Do you know where your parents came from to go to Israel, I guess?
Yeah. So my mother came to Israel when she was 8 years old, and she came from Russia with her parents. She was born in Russia, and she came with her parents to Israel. They settled first in Haifa, where my grandfather got a job there with the railway. I guess it was then called the Palestinian Railway. And they lived there for about 3 years before they moved to Jerusalem, and he continued his job there. My father came to Israel. My father was actually born in Beirut, Lebanon.
Yeah.
And his father was sent from Israel to Beirut, I think in 1912, to manage the what used to be called the Anglo-Palestine Bank, which is now known as Bank Leumi. So he was the manager of the first Anglo-Palestine Bank in Beirut, and that's where my father was born, and his younger three siblings were born there as well. His older sister was born in Yafo, and I guess they moved when she was like a year old to Beirut. My father and his family moved back to Israel in 1934. And he was, at that point, he was 21 or 22 years old. Yeah.
All right. One sec. Oh. Before they immigrated to Israel, did they talk about what like life was there before they left to Israel?
They didn't talk much to us about it, and my brother and I really, unfortunately, did not ask too many questions, which is really, looking back, it is a big shame. But I know that I actually just found some. My mother, Savta Sarah, was interviewed in 1966. She was interviewed by by somebody from Hebrew University in the Institute of, it's called the Machon Liadut Zmanenu, the Institute of of contemporary Judaism. And they asked her about her father. It was the subject was veterans of Jerusalem. So they asked her about her father, and she gave them a history of her father. And but they did not, to my knowledge, they did not talk about much about. I know that my father, who was in Beirut as a young, as a young man, actually, they were involved. There was a Jewish community in Beirut, and they were very involved. They were not necessarily religious, but they were involved in the Jewish community in Beirut. I'm not sure how many people were there, how many Jews, but was definitely much more than now, because now I don't know if there's there. Yeah.
Did like anyone in your family like experience or like be affected by the Holocaust?
No. So both my parents came to Israel before the Holocaust.
All right.
So my family, gratefully on our both sides of did not experience the Holocaust. No.
All right.
Pause. I'm just pausing for 1 second to
It's
make
recording.
sure it's recording. It is? Hold on. Yeah?
I guess.
Why does it say? Hold on 1 second. Oh, yeah, it's recording. Okay,
Oh,
sorry.
now it.
Okay.
Did it just start or?
No,
No, it said recording.
when you
in
click here,
progress.
yeah. Where did it say that?
At the start when you hit record.
Yeah. It's fine. It's working. Sorry.
All right.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah.
So no, they did not experience the Holocaust,
All right,
which
good.
grateful for.
What's it called? Can you tell me anything about like the family's immigration to Israel?
Our family's what?
Immigration to Israel?
Um, my parents' immigration to Israel.
Yeah.
Again, I know that my maternal grandparents did not really come to Israel because they were necessarily Zionistic, but they felt that they would like to help the Jewish community in pre-Israel,
Yeah.
and that's why they came. And my paternal grandparents, I am not sure what motivated them. Not sure.
All right. All right. Now I would like you to take out the item or items that you brought as your artifact to talk about.
Okay. So I have to tell you that the fact that you were telling me that there's going to be an artifact actually got me motivated to. I had this old suitcase downstairs in the basement with stuff from my parents' house that I brought with me many years ago. And in it, I found a few things from my parents' home that were actually my grandmother's, still from Russia.
Yeah.
And should I turn the camera around? I guess, right? Hold on. 1 second, Magen.
Yeah.
I've been having some issues with my camera. I don't know. I'll just okay. This is a silver. It's very tarnished. but it's a silver sugar bowl.
It's pretty big.
Huh?
It's pretty big.
It's very big, yeah. And it has a pretty big spoon for sugar, also from silver, in silver. And there are some decorations on the handle, if you can see.
Like, yeah.
And that was in this box that in this suitcase. And then my grandmother, whom we lived with, she lived with us until she passed away.
Mhm.
And she used to drink tea with sugar cubes. And she used this thing
Yeah.
to cut the sugar cube in half.
Huh.
That was something that, and then she also, she liked her tea in this silver holder.
Oh, would she drink it from that?
Yeah, she did. She put a glass in that silver holder. Now it's all tarnished, but and yeah. So this is from now. I don't have really from my paternal grandparents. I don't have really anything that I could actually. I mean, I actually discovered some pictures in that suitcase. Pictures of my. I never met my paternal grandparents or my maternal grandfather. The only grandparent I knew was my maternal grandmother, but I found some pictures of them, of the grandparents that I never met in that suitcase, which was amazing.
Yeah. All right. You know how old they are?
What?
You know how old those artifacts are?
Um, they have to be, I would say probably closer to 100 years old.
Oh, wow. All right. Um, Now I would like to ask if you a questions of your life growing up. Where did you grow up and who lived with you?
Where did I grow up and what?
Where did you grow up and who lived with you while you grew up?
Okay. So I grew up in Jerusalem, Yerushalayim. I lived with my parents,
Mm-hmm.
Sarah and Uriel Lerner, and my brother, Lavi, who
Yeah,
passed away 2 years ago. And as I mentioned before, my maternal grandmother, her name was Sofia Baranov. We called her Mama. She lived with us until she passed away,
yeah.
which was around the age of 92 or so.
Mm-hmm. Um, like, what was like your favorite teacher, favorite subject in school?
Definitely English. Definitely. I
Yeah,
actually, in high school, I used to read, you know how they give you assignments, right? And book reports and stuff. I used to read English fiction for pleasure, just for my own pleasure that had nothing to do with school.
yeah,
I also liked math a little bit, but not that much.
yeah. Um, do you also have like a favorite teacher or?
So, yeah, actually, I had this English teacher. He was from England. All my English teachers in Israel were from England. And as a matter of fact, I used to have a British accent, which is now hard to believe because it's not there at all. But his name was Mr. Krieger, and he was my favorite English teacher.
Mm-hmm. All right. What did you and your friends do for fun?
For fun. Well, one thing that I recall is that right by the house where I grew up, there was this tall tree,
Yeah.
and we built a tree house
Oh.
in that tree. And we used to get together. We were maybe 6 or 7 kids,
Mhm.
From the immediate, from it was myself and my friend Eitana from downstairs, and then a boy Ariel next door, and there was another Ariel a block away, and there was this boy Ziv, and we all got together and we used to just go and sit at the treehouse and until we were called for dinner. That was our favorite thing to do.
All right. And you went to, did you go to shul when you were like a kid?
To shul,
Yeah.
I did not grow up in a religious home, so I really did not go to shul. No.
All right. Did you have a bat mitzvah?
A bat mitzvah?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a bat mitzvah, and it wasn't a religious ceremony or anything like that, but my parents actually um, rented a bus and took my entire class for a little trip in the Jerusalem hills for a few hours. That was the bat mitzvah celebration.
Mhm. What was the most meaningful about it? Like
The most meaningful
part of it?
of the bat mitzvah,
Yeah.
I think just being with my friends, having a good time that day. Again, it wasn't any religious component to it.
Yeah. All right. What's your favorite Jewish holiday? And then what did you do? Like, what was your favorite thing that you did on the holiday?
Now, in general,
Um,
I guess in general, um, my favorite Jewish holiday. I think maybe Purim.
yeah, that's a good one.
Maybe Purim. Oops, are you still there?
Yes. Oh, your
Oh, okay.
video went off.
Okay. I guess Purim because it was always fun to dress up
Yeah.
and, mishlochei manot. And yeah, that was my favorite. I still like it a lot.
Yeah.
Some parts of it.
And also, what's it called? Did anyone in your family serve in like the military for any country?
Everybody what?
Did anyone in your family serve in the military for any country?
Serve in the military? Yeah. My brother did.
Mm-hmm.
Was in tanks.
Yeah.
Um, and I was in the army. I was in the army for 20 months at the time. I don't know how long girls serve now in the Israeli army, but when I was in the army, it was for 20 months. I was a non-commissioned officer, which means that I was in charge of the girls on the base. I had to make sure that they were up on time, that their rifles were cleaned, that their skirts weren't too short, the uniform skirts weren't too short,
Yeah.
and basically that they had to behave. It was not so easy because
There was
you
like,
know some of them were older than myself.
oh,
So here we are. All these women have to listen to me, who some of them were older and I was younger than them. It's not so, it's hard.
all right. How did you meet Saba?
Saba and I met during the 1973 Yom Kippur War. We both volunteered for Magen David Adom, which is the Israeli Red Cross.
Yeah.
The war broke out on Yom Kippur. Saba was in Israel at the time doing his master's in Hebrew University in oceanography, and I was also at Hebrew U at the time, Hebrew University, um, doing my undergraduate at English literature and Russian studies, by the way.
Mhm.
And we, of course, all school was canceled, schools were canceled, everything stopped. So people were looking to volunteer, and Saba volunteered for Magen David Adom. And I came a few days after the war broke out, and he was, a lot of people lined up to donate blood.
Yeah.
And he was a phlebotomist. He took blood from whoever came.
Yeah.
And,
That's what a
um,
phlegmativist. That's what a phlegmativist is.
yeah, phlebotomist is somebody who takes blood from the donors.
Uh-huh.
And then they had this recuperation area after you donate blood. They had coffee and tea and some cake and nash. So I was working there, making sure that everybody had something to drink and that they stayed a while before they left, to make sure that they're okay. So that's how we met.
All right. Um, one sec. Trying to destroy this thing. All right. What did you do to like make a living when you were an adult?
What did I do? What?
To make a living when you were an adult.
To make a living when I was an adult. A few things. I was, for a few years before I got married, I was working for the Misrad HaKlita, which is the Ministry of Immigrant Absorption. I was working with Russian Olim in an area in Yerushalayim called Ramot. A lot of Russian immigrants um, lived there, and they had an office in that area, and I used to be their liaison between the government and between them. I was the liaison between them and the government, whatever benefits they needed and whatever rights they had, to clarify all these things to them.
Yeah.
And the fact that I spoke Russian definitely was good,
Yeah.
obviously. And that was before we got married, and then once we were married, we lived in New York. Saba was doing his graduate degree in Albert Einstein College of Medicine. I got a job for a few months in an Israeli tour operator. It was like a travel agency. That
Mhm.
was just for a few months, some administrative position.
Yeah.
And then I got a job with the New York Public Library in the acquisition department, where they acquire books and manuscripts. So I
Yeah.
was there for about, let me think, for about, I think 3 years, maybe 2.5 years, 3 years.
Yeah.
And then what happened then? Trying to refresh my memory. Then I think I was home for a while because Daniel was born. Elior was already 3.5. Daniel was, these are my children.
Yeah.
I know you
Oh,
know.
yeah, sure.
And I was home for a while. And then after a few years, when we moved to New Jersey, I got a job in a Judaica store in Highland Park, New Jersey. we lived in Edison. Edison Highland Park is the same community. There was a Judaica store with Jewish books and with gifts. And I worked there for about 13 years, I think, until I moved to Pittsburgh.
All right.
And haven't worked in Pittsburgh for one day. Well, I shouldn't say that. I haven't worked for money, for wages.
All right. And then what invention do you think had the biggest impact on your life?
The biggest impact on myself?
Yeah. Or your life, but yeah.
Oh, on me or the world?
I guess on you, yeah.
Magen, I should have prepared for this. The biggest invention. Well, I don't know if it qualifies as invention, but I think technology
Oh,
is,
yeah. Yeah.
huh?
That's an invention.
Okay, I think technology is by far the most significant
Yeah.
invention of our times.
All right. Now for the last question. What advice do you have for like future generations?
Advice for the future generation. I think that you need to be a mensch. That's the first thing that I would say to anybody, any child or teenager growing up today. The first thing you need to know is that you have to grow up as a mensch,
Yeah.
be kind to people, be compassionate, and care about people. I think that's the most important thing. And also, sometimes I think we belittle our connections to our family. We think maybe it's not that important. And I think it's very important to always keep in touch with family. Also, ask questions,
Yeah.
because as I told you before, I wasn't so good about asking questions while I was growing up, and I really regret it now. And one day it's just too late. So that's another piece of advice.
All right. Thank you, Safta.
Thank you again.